Wu Jie curses at his current predicament. He complains about not being informed that Yu Jin could do something like this. Yu Jin smirks at how befuddled his enemy is and admits that he can do many things, even if he is an F rank. What exactly happened after Wu Jie closed the doors on Yu Jin and the creek? Let's have a flashback. The rope still bound Yu Jin's wrists, and the creek approached him. Yu Jin was horrified by the tentacles, as he thought how he'd be okay with the curses, since he also had a curse-resistant skill. For him, the real problem is if the creek chooses to physically attack him. Yu Jin stands up despite the throbbing of his injured leg. He takes a knife from his inventory, relieved he can still access it. Using the blade, the rope on his wrist snaps, and the creek flinches. Yu Jin is unsure if he'll last half an hour against the C-class monster, but as he thinks this, the creek leaps back away from Yu Jin. No, is the creek afraid of Yu Jin? Really? Yu Jin was confused about why the creek would step back, and he observed that it was terrified for some reason. The creek starts sweating, and Yu Jin is dumbfounded, since he is only an F rank. The system shows Yu Jin that the Dragon Slayer title and the skill Rao Chita's Bane have been activated, doubling the effects of all his skills against the creek. Yu Jin realizes that this is the reason why the creek is terrified. He deduces that this title and skill he got from slaying the King of Curse, and poison-type dragons can also influence other dragon species of the same type. Oh, our MC is lucky somehow. The creek is wary of Yu Jin and growls. Yu Jin has no offensive skills, but he's sure the keyword's effect will be doubled. He lets the knife slip from his hand, clinging to the ground. This makes the creek flinch. Yu Jin gets a vial from his inventory and tries calming the creek down by giving it a pet name. He calls the magic beast Inky. He lifts the vial and offers the creek some grounded C-rank Man of Stone. I guess those were supposed to be snacks for peace. Back to the present, Yu Jin says he can't go into much detail. He can only say he got lucky, and he and Inky, the creek, just made a connection. Yu Jin removes his hand from caressing Inky and points at Wu Jie. He says that he has gained a new friend thanks to him. Yu Jin commands Inky to attack, and Inky lunges for Wu Jie. It's impressive how Yu Jin completely tamed the creek in less than 30 minutes. Wu Jie pulls his arm to rip it away from the tentacles that got him. The tentacles snapped, and it also made a mark on enemy's forearm. Wu Jie looks at his arm, claiming that this can't stop him. Stab. Yu Jin has stabbed Wu Jie in the upper arm, and Wu Jie asks what he was doing, as he throws Yu Jin off him. Yu Jin tumbles back, but smirks as he says that even a B-ranker's body can be softened once poisoned. Humans and monsters are sturdier the higher their rank is. This makes Wu Jie red with anger, as he curses. Yu Jin doesn't let Wu Jie take a break and once again commands Inky to attack. Wu Jie declares it's only a C-rank monster, as he grabs a crescent blade from his inventory. He swings it at Inky, beheading the magic beast, and Inky falls to the ground with a thud. No! Yu Jin's new friend is gone, just like that. Wu Jie glances at the fallen monster and laughs, claiming that that thing can't take him down. He tells Yu Jin that he can't be a B-ranker like him with just a few tricks. Yu Jin crouches by Inky and touches the magic beast. A purple mist emerges from Inky's body, and it envelopes Wu Jie. Wu Jie tries to threaten Yu Jin, but he suddenly feels woozy. He plops down to the ground, confused about what's happening. With his whole body trembling, he asks how it is possible, when he has already killed the monster, and he also claims that the curse was too weak for his rank. The system announces that the skill Final Thanks is activated. Now, tentacles are coming from Yu Jin's back, and his eyes are glowing yellow. The system informs the skills and stats of Inky are transferred with double effectiveness. With the Rao Chita's Bane in effect, the Final Thanks skill effects are also doubled. Does this mean it has an S-grade impact or more? Yu Jin looks down at the curled-up Wu Jie as he explains that, although Inky was a C-rank, when the double of the curse's effect is also doubled, it'll definitely hurt Wu Jie. Wu Jie tries to look up, and Yu Jin says he shouldn't look at him like that. Yu Jin's yellow eyes are still glowing, as he says all he wanted was a little peace in his life, but they just have to go and stir the hornet's nest. He grips Wu Jie's head and says it is his turn to ask. He demands where they have put his lovely little piece. Instead of answering properly, Wu Jie curses and threatens Yu Jin. You're one hard nut to crack, dude. Yu Jin leers at Wu Jie, understanding that he'll not learn anything from the guy. He claims that there's no need to spare him then. Venom starts to drip from Yu Jin's hands. It drips on Wu Jie's head, down to his body. Yu Jin has activated one of Inky's skills called Toxic Ooze. Wu Jie can only scream at this. Whoa, we should never get on Yu Jin's bad side. He can be decisive when it comes to this kind of thing. Yu Jin looks at Wu Jie and apologizes. He says no one can know about his skills, mainly a final thanks. Yujin lets go and says they've only brought this to themselves when they kidnapped him. He wanted to avoid killing as much as possible this time. Wujie is long gone, and the rest of his body starts to dissolve because of the venom. Yujin says he wished he could at least leave his body for the family. Still, he can't do that because a particular young lady can read the corpse's memories. He only hopes that the dead can understand, whether it's Yerim and Yu-Yun or Yujin. They're keeping a secret from one another. A door handle cracks off the door and Yujin looks at it. He thinks he can't control his strength since final thanks raise his stats, as a door clunks shut behind him. Yujin believes it'll be like this for 7 days instead of 1 hour, so he has to be careful and hide this, so that no one will notice. Remember that Yujin's perfect caregiver title also turned to L rank, meaning the effects are now longer than before. Yujin opens the skill window and looks at the skills Inky has left him. Aside from the C-class Toxic Ooze, there are D-grade Thorny Trap, E-grade Gecko on the Wall, D-grade Scratch, C-grade Weakling's Hunch, and C-grade Tentacles. The Gecko on the Wall is a cloaking skill that lets the user assimilate to the surrounding and hide, which is useful when sneaking around. While Weakling's Hunch enables the user to detect more powerful opponents, Yujin should use those 7 days to the fullest while he still has those skills. Yujin's leg throbs as he walks, and he is thankful that his stats were raised, making it possible for him to keep walking. Yujin clicks on the Gecko on the Wall skill, and his presence disappears. He walks on, claiming it's time for him to find peace. The men in red suits are in one of the rooms, taking a break as they wait. Yujin's hidden tentacles find them and start attacking them. Yujin attacks everyone in the facility with his tentacles as he walks by. Now, that's just OP. A man wearing shades with his feet raised on the table was startled into cursing when the door thuds. He asks who's there. Yujin has deactivated his Gecko on the Wall skill, and he was the one who kicked the door open. He answers that it's the victim they just kidnapped. Yujin steps into the room, guessing that the man inside is the boss among those remaining. The man asks how Yujin got free, and Yujin instead asks where the Hornflame Lion is. Shades guy clutches the safe on his table and throws it at Yujin. He didn't hit Yujin, and the safe clunked to the wall behind Yujin. Is throwing the safe really the best thing he could do at that moment? The Shades guy says Yujin was only lucky, but an F-ranker should have just run away while he still had the chance. He says the flame-horned lion is safe in its cage, and he has the key to it. The man takes an axe from his inventory and dares Yujin to take the key from his C-ranker's hands. The man was about to say something, but Yujin slapped him using one of his invisible tentacles. Yujin tells the man to give him the key and spill where the magic beast is. The man was confused and was about to ask what that was, but Yujin once again used an invisible tentacle to slap the guy. And every time the guy tries to guess, he receives a slap. The other guy is irritated and asks why Yujin even let himself be captured. Yujin scratches his ear, saying it's none of the other guy's business. The man receives another slap, and Yujin pins the man down with his tentacles. You really shouldn't anger our MC more. When will villains learn to just answer the question? Yujin claims he didn't want to pin the man down, so he picks up the man's axe and says he has more skills up his sleeve. He threatens the man to do as he was told as he uses toxic ooze on the axe in his hands. The melted part of the axe drips to the ground, close to the guy's head. The man panics at this and says that he'll give the key, and tells Yujin that the cage is in the central area of Block A. Yujin reaches out a hand and tells the man to give the key. Villains really like learning things the hard way. The man is trembling. Despite this, he takes a contract from his inventory. He tells Yujin to sign the contract before he gives the key to Yujin. He asks Yujin to guarantee his safety in exchange for the key, and asks Yujin to promise that he won't attack. Yujin reads the contract and adds a provision where the other guy must keep his mouth shut about Yujin. The man immediately agrees to this, and as Yujin signs the contract, he frees the guy. Yujin got the key and was about to leave. He tells the other guy to behave himself while Yujin's gone. The man glares at Yujin, and his hands turn similar to a beast's. He dashes to Yujin for an attack and grabs Yujin by the neck. Wrong move, dude. The guy smirks at Yujin since he can't fight back, saying how a powerful curse binds the contract. If he gets attacked by Yujin, Yujin will go blind for violating the agreement. He says that Yujin should have looked at it more carefully. He mocks Yujin for being a noob, who doesn't know anything and how Yujin probably hasn't even entered a dungeon before. Yujin looks down and holds the contract in 2 hands. He rips the contract into 2, shocking the other guy. The contract flashes purple light, as the system announces that Yu-Jin will be inflicted with the blindness curse for breaching the contract. This was followed by an announcement that the curse-resistant skill nullified the curse. Yu-Jin grasps the guy's wrists and apologizes for raining on his parade. He lets the man know he is not a noob and has more experience than anyone there. The place was then filled with the sound of the man screaming, and another one bites the dust. Yu-Jin steps on purplish-black goo, claiming he knew this would happen. Yu-Jin looks back and admits that he wouldn't let the guy live. The safe disintegrates in a puddle of sticky poison, as Yu-Jin says that nobody would have imagined that he is responsible for everything that happened there. At most, people would think that everyone fought each other. He walks back into the hall, thinking he'll leave the other guys alone, since they didn't see Yu-Jin use his skills. He's sure Haeyeon will take care of them once they rescue Yu-Jin. Yu-Jin remembers Inky and goes back to where the magic beast is. Yu-Jin laments about how Inky has suffered. He knows that Inky will only be butchered and sold in parts if left alone. There is only one thing he can do for him now. Yu-Jin uses toxic ooze on Inky and thanks him for everything. A red gem was left behind as Inky's whole body disappeared. I guess Yerim could also use white corpse on magic beasts as well. Yu-Jin leaves and heads to where Peace is. Peace is still asleep, and Yu-Jin thinks about how he wishes he could just take Peace and get out of there. But doing such a thing will only be suspicious. Yu-Jin takes the sleeping Peace into his arms and asks it if it wants to wait with him, till everyone finds them. Peace's tongue sticking out is so adorable that Yu-Jin can't help but comment on it. He assures the sleeping magic beast that he'll be okay, and they should just take a long nap till they are found. Yu-Jin looks at Peace fondly, glad that Peace is okay. Yu-Jin hopes that Peace will at least outlive him. After some time, there was a rumble of rushing feet. A female staff talks on the radio, saying they found them. She reports Yu-Jin Han and the infant horn-flame lion are at the central part of Block A. A staff shouts to get the cage open and to get the guild master. Inside the cage, Yu-Jin sleeps on the floor with Peace in his arms. I guess this story arc is finally ending. A staff comments on how they seem to have fallen asleep, while another calls their guild master over. Yu-Jin's skill, Weakling's hunch, lets him know that an S-ranker is approaching. Yu-Jin was woken up by this notification, thinking how he must have dozed off. He wonders if it is Yu-Yun who is coming for him. A man screams for his young as he slams the cage door open. With a worried look, he asks if Yu-Jin is okay and yells to open his eyes. Yu-Jin sits up, realizing that it is his brother. He asks if Yu-Yun is there to save him. Lil Bro is really different when he's in front of his big bro. It's like he's a whole other person. Yerim and Sunhan appear with worried looks on their faces. Yerim destroys his side of the cage open, asking if Yu-Jin is okay. Yu-Yun asks if they hurt him and if Yu-Jin can get up. Yu-Jin looks at them, thinking how the entire entourage is there. Everyone's worried. So if this is only normal, Yu-Jin. Yu-Jin stands up with the help of his brother, thinking about how the guild has recognized his value. His leg suddenly throbs, and he stumbles toward Yu-Yun as he voices his pain. This got Yu-Yun and everyone else worried. Sunghan asks if Yu-Jin was hurt. Yerim asks who did it. For she'll teach them a lesson, while Yu-Yun tells him to wait, so that he can get a healer for his brother. Yu-Jin calms everyone down, saying he can still walk, but Yu-Yun decides. He pulls his brother into his arms and lifts him like a princess. This is like a scene from a shoujo manhwa with all the flowers in that panel. Yu-Yun confirms with the staff if the healers are on standby outside and commands them to be brought in immediately. The staff follows the order while Yu-Jin's tears trickle down his face. Yu-Jin thinks about how sweet his younger brother is, but at the same time, he should be treated as an older brother, not some damsel in distress. Yu-Jin gets in a car with Peace still knocked out in his arms, still worried. Yerim says she'll head back as soon as she finishes the investigation and cleaning up and tells Yu-Jin to get plenty of rest. Yu-Jin assures Yerim that he will. He then thinks about how Yerim will use her white quartz skill even though she's still young. Yu-Yun is sitting beside Yu-Jin and tells him they'll go to the hospital and get Yu-Jin a full checkup to ensure his young is completely okay. Yu-Jin is overwhelmed and dissuades Yu-Yun from this. Yu-Yun says they should get Yu-Jin a full physical while at it. Oh, is this the part where he'll be found out? Yu-Jin strongly thinks they can't do that, because they'll discover that his stats increase from Inky's final thanks. Left with no choice, Yu-Jin decides to act his way around it. He asks his brother in a pitiful voice if it's okay that they don't go. Yu-Jin claims that the hospital is full of strangers, and doesn't want to get anesthesia that will put him under 4 of the tests. He said all this while acting like a damsel in distress. Really? Yu-jin complained about it earlier, and now he's using that card to the fullest? Yu-yun is shocked that he didn't think of this. He apologizes to his brother for being thoughtless and says he will get him home. The driver immediately understood and said he'd make a U-turn right away. I think the driver's sung in, but they didn't really show who it was. Yu-yun looks at every part of his brother closely while asking if Yu-jin is sure he is okay. And Yu-jin reassures him that he is. Yu-yun sniffs at his brother and says he smells something fishy, like something reptilian, coming from Yu-jin. Yu-jin pales at this and curses inside at how keen his brother's nose is. He makes an excuse that they were on a wharf before, so it is probably the smell of the ocean. He assures his brother that he will shower once they get home. It also activates his stealth skill, Gecko on the Wall. Yu-yun then comments that Yu-jin is probably right since he no longer smells it. That's one helpful skill. You could literally stop taking baths if you have that kind of skill. After that day, MKC was suspended from bodyguard duties for the time being, and the security in Haiyan was beefed up. Each guildmaster must personally send information about the bodyguards each time one is dispatched. And as for Yu-jin, he was dreaming one night. Like any other dream, it doesn't make much sense at first. He dreamt about being stuck in a cage. Yu-jin sees himself on the other side of the cell, a scene where he offers himself some ground mana stone. Wu-jae approaches him on the floor. Then he attacks Wu-jae, and finally, getting slashed by Wu-jae. The last scene was seeing himself watching from the floor as he dies. Yu-jin wakes up from the nightmare of the scream, realizing that it was all a dream. He looks at peace. He touches his head, as he realizes what happened is from his skill. Yu-jin curls up, thinking about how he inherited Inky's final memories. That's one nasty side effect. Yu-jin gets up and takes a water bottle to drink. He thinks about how he has frequently experienced this kind of thing before, but has forgotten it. It hasn't been that long since he turned back time, and he knows how low rankers used to drop like flies. In Yu-jin's past life, he was always getting traumatized, that he would spend weeks drunk and holed up in his room. There was even a time when many people broke into his place and he got dragged to rehab. Yu-jin thinks about it now, and ponders if Yu-yun sent those people to help him. Getting a shot to right his wrongs has let him see things more broadly. Yu-jin dismisses those thoughts, thinking it won't happen again, since the S-rankers under his influence won't die easily, except for Myung-woo. Yu-jin then realizes that Myung-woo is not in his room and wonders where Myung-woo went at this hour. In a different room, the sound of wearing can be heard. Boxes of dull knives have littered the floor, and Myung-woo is still grinding knives at this hour. Counting that, he's already completely sharpened 9,980 blades. Wow, 20 more knives to sharpen, and you're done. Myung-woo. Myung-woo sadly smiles and slams a fist on the table. He leans on the table with both hands, feeling all pathetic at how nothing he does can help. Looking forlorn, Myung-woo thinks about how there was nothing he could do when his friend was in danger. All that he could do at that moment was sharpen kitchen knives. Myung-woo recalls how the guild staff told him he could do nothing, while Yurim looked at him sadly. The staff revealed how they had run a background check on Myung-woo for precautions. The staff lets him know that he has no real history with the hunter Yu-jin Han, despite Yu-jin's claims that they were old friends. Although, the cat's out of the bag. This revelation shocked Myung-woo, and he says there must have been a mistake. The staff finishes the conversation, saying that they can't leave this matter of the guild master's brother to a complete stranger like Myung-woo. Feeling devastated, Myung-woo sniffles as he repeats how there really was nothing that he could do, and how it turns out that he's just a nobody after all. Now, Myung-woo knows that. He wasn't friends with Yu-jin from before. A phone rings with the name Yun on the screen. Yu-yun answers the call, and Yu-jin screams at how he thinks that Myung-woo is missing again. Yu-yun calmly answers that Myung-woo probably stepped out for a bit. Yu-jin continues yelling at how Myung-woo ran away because he left a big pot of beef bone stew. Yu-yun repeated the food name while Yu-jin kept on yelling. Yu-jin explains how every Korean mom would make one before they go on a long trip. He then screams his worry that Myung-woo might be taken by bad guys again. Does this mean Myung-woo is really waifu material, since Yu-jin compares Myung-woo to a Korean mom? Out in the streets, Myung-woo gloomily walks. He was too ashamed to see Yu-jin, that he just left without a word. He remembers once more how the guild staff told him he had no history with Yu-jin at all. Now that he is out, Myung-woo has no place to go. Wow. Yu-jin's instincts were right. Myung-woo did run away. Myung-woo realizes his shoelaces are untied. and he crouches to fix them. As he did so, all this stuff fell off his bag, while sarcastically thinking this was absolutely perfect. This kind of feels like anything bad that could happen would happen to Myung-woo. Two kids approach him and look at Myung-woo's ID. They were amazed at how this random guy on the street had an access badge to Haeyeon Guild. The girl screams and asks if Myung-woo is a hunter at the Haeyeon Guild, while the boy exclaims his dream of joining the Haeyeon Guild someday. The kids continue to shoot him questions about his rank, the number of dungeons he has cleared, the guild master, and the guild master's skills. The shouting of the kids causes a commotion, and people around them start murmuring. This got Myung-woo all flustered, but he mustered up the courage to admit that he had just cooked and cleaned at the Haeyeon dormitory, while crying tears of embarrassment. This got the kids down, but they still asked Myung-woo some questions. The boy asks if he is not an awakened, while the girl asks what skills he has. Myung-woo weakly answers that he is an awakened, and that his skill is an F-rank equipment buff. The kids then bluntly comment that his skill is lame. Even kids are harsh these days. Sorry, Myung-woo, but the truth really hurts. The kids continue. The boy mentions how his mom said F-rankers are useless, while the girl agrees that they can't go on dungeon raids or even make real money. They kept talking trash about F-rankers, literally stabbing Myung-woo with their words alone. Myung-woo thinks that even kids know he is worthless and has no future. He considers that even if he gets this skill from sharpening thousands of knives, he will get a garbage skill in the end. He imagines how the Haeyeon's guild master would say Myung-woo won't be able to contribute anything, and Yoo-jin would agree to this. Like a wife being left by her husband, Myung-woo would be on the floor as he reached out for Yoo-jin. Yoo-jin would smile at him, apologizing for not realizing he was worthless, and proclaiming that he shouldn't have taken him in. And Myung-woo will be left all alone, trying to reach out. Yoo-jin's daydreaming must have rubbed off on Myung-woo, but his insights despair. Myung-woo bursts into tears in the middle of the street, with his stuff still lying on the ground. The kids are surprised by this, and the boy asks why he's crying. Myung-woo admits that he has no future. The girl scolds the boy for making the older man cry, and the boy suggests that they should help him. The boy pulls on Myung-woo, claiming that they know a little trick. They tell Myung-woo to come with them, and they will be helping him get an incredible skill. Myung-woo comes along and finds out what the kids mean. The kids dunked his face in the water numerous times and got shoved from a ledge. The kids kept pulling Myung-woo to other places, as he pondered how this was more like hazing. Myung-woo accepts how much of a loser he is, because he is getting bullied by kids. I wouldn't really say he is a loser. His personality is really just foolish and timid. They reached an 8-lane road, and the kids suggest to walk through it. Vehicles were zooming by, and Myung-woo was so shocked by the suggestion. The boy plans to show how it is done, but Myung-woo immediately pulls the kid back. The kid complains about almost getting killed by Myung-woo, but he scolds that they should not do dangerous things like this. That's right, Myung-woo, teach those kids. Their sense of danger is warped. The girl claims they were trying to help him, since new skills can be unlocked when one is in danger. She states that this method is how he can get extraordinary combat skills. Myung-woo thinks back to how he became an awakened. This confirms the girl's thoughts, but Myung-woo mulls over it. He asks the children if this is what they have been doing daily, and the kids admit that it is the least they can do if they want to be hunters. Myung-woo tries to dissuade them, saying that they should just focus on their studies. The boy asks what good it will do, when everyone knows that good grades won't help earn money. The girl nods to this as they say how becoming a combat class hunter is the best. Myung-woo is flabbergasted at this. He thinks it is the same old pattern, but this time, instead of good grades, they are being pushed by society to become hunters. Indeed, it's man versus society. They suddenly hear the sound of a siren. There was an announcement of a dungeon break, and it urged everyone to evacuate to the nearest shelter. The dungeon break happened near where Myung-woo and the kids were. The kids run off, excited that this could be their chance to awaken. Myung-woo chases after them, as other people run in the opposite direction. Coming out of the red portal is a humongous purple spider. It feels like I just raised a flag when I mentioned before how anything bad that could happen would happen to Myung-woo. My bad. A helicopter hovers above the dungeon break, and a reporter announces how spider webs have covered city blocks. The giant spider-like monsters came out from it because the portal was located in a local strip mall. The portal was left untouched until the outbreak. The cameraman was shocked to find kids and a man running near the dungeon break, and then they reported how there were still some civilians below. The people that the cameraman just recorded were Myung-woo and the kids. They were running away from the spiders. They saw people who were covered entirely with webs as they ran. Myung-woo cries about how they shouldn't have gone there, while the boy also cries, claiming he's scared. Well, it is too late now. The girl is also frightened, but tells the two to be brave. A spider catches up to them, and Myung-woo and the boy cry as they scream for help. The girl steps before them and tells them to step aside. With a furious face, the girl says she's unleashing her super secret ultra special move, the S-rank super majestic power fist. She's pretty brave. It's like we are watching a younger version of Yerim. The spider looks at her blankly, then attacks her. She crashes with a thud. Myung-woo and the boy asked if she was okay. The girl looks at her hands, red in the face with disappointment. The spider looms over her, but she is still shocked as she looks at her hands. Oh, I think she got a bad one. The spider goes in for another attack, but Myung-woo carries the girl and pulls the boy to the stairs. Myung-woo tells them to get onto the rooftop and ask for help. The boy looks at Myung-woo, who is carrying the other kid, and asks if Myung-woo is alright in carrying her. Myung-woo huffs and wheezes as they run up, making it hard for him to say he has no choice. Myung-woo needs to pay to win like Yoo-jin, so he will be sturdier somehow. The girl mumbles by his shoulder, saying they should just leave her, since there is no point. She cries as she reveals how she got her awakening and is ranked F. Myung-woo is confused as the boy shouts for them to watch out because the monster has caught up to them. Shoot, I really am raising flags whenever I mention the word bad. The spider scurries over, and Myung-woo shouts to hurry and get up. His legs are trembling now due to exertion, and the girl yells to be left there, since it is her fault. She knows that Myung-woo can run without carrying her. She admonishes herself for being an F-ranker and how she is not worth saving. She shouts to be left there. Her personality instantly turned from a Yerim to a Myung-woo in a short time. Myung-woo plops her down and takes his sharpened dagger from his bag. He takes a stance a few steps below them with his hands trembling. Myung-woo looks back at them. He was crying with a wobbly smile. He claims he will hold the monsters off, so the kids should go ahead. The kids disagree, but Myung-woo yells that they are just kids. He starts scolding them about how they shouldn't say things like being a failure or wishing to be left behind when they still got their lives ahead of them. He lectures them that there are many things they could choose to live for, and that every life is worth living. Myung-woo feels like he is possessed by Yoo-jin's spirit when he lectures. Myung-woo once again tells them to hurry up and get help for him. He reminds them to help each other run as fast as possible and yells for them to go. The boy helps the girl go up, and the girl looks back, saying he shouldn't die, since they will return for him. Myung-woo cries, wishing it was that easy to stay with the living. He knows he has no chance against the giant spider, but still runs toward it. He got worked up hearing how the girl gave up. With a flick of the spider, Myung-woo gets tossed away like paper. Well, that was expected. Myung-woo shatters through a window. He falls from a great height, as he thinks nothing ever works for him. He thinks of Yoo-jin and thanks his friend in his heart. Myung-woo opens his eyes and sees Yoo-jin running along the building toward him. Myung-woo believes he is getting visions of Yoo-jin now that he is about to meet his end. Yoo-jin was already near him, and Myung-woo was thankful that Yoo-jin was coming to say goodbye. Yoo-jin reaches out his hand and yells at Myung-woo to take his hand immediately. Myung-woo was shocked at his vision of Yoo-jin talking. With tears in his eyes, Myung-woo reaches out to Yoo-jin. That was close, but Death Flag avoided. Myung-woo really doesn't remember much of what happened after that. Myung-woo was clinging to Yoo-jin, as Yoo-jin fought off the monster using the tentacles coming out from his back. Myung-woo was so confused and shocked at the same time. Yoo-jin runs off as he carries Myung-woo princess style. This makes me think Myung-woo is the waifu, but then again, Yoo-yun also carried Yoo-jin princess style. Myung-woo asks Yoo-jin if those are tentacles coming out from his back. Yoo-jin wonders what he should do, but claims that Myung-woo is probably just seeing things. He tells Myung-woo not to worry about it. Myung-woo shouts at Yoo-jin, saying that there is no way he can't worry about it. Myung-woo kept asking if it was a new skill or if Yoo-jin always had them. He was about to spout more questions, but Yoo-jin just whacked him, saying that Myung-woo should just sleep. And that is the last thing Myung-woo remembered. Maybe Yoo-jin should call on Uncle from another world and have him use Iculus Korra on Myung-woo. Myung-woo wakes up from his sleep and realizes he is at the guild dorm. The news is on the TV, reporting how children were saved from the dungeon break. Myung-woo watches closely, shouting that it wasn't a dream, and he starts wondering how he got to the dorm. Someone comes up behind Myung-woo and asks if he's finally awake. Myung-woo looks back and finds Yoo-jin behind him. Yoo-jin is carrying a tray with a small pot as he sternly looks down at Myung-woo. Miao Mu asks if Yu Jin saved him, and he swears that he saw those tentacles behind Yu Jin's back. Yu Jin puts the tray on the table and asks Miao Mu what kind of dream he has. Yu Jin lets Miao Mu know that hunters from Haiyan Guild got him out of that mess. That's it. Yu Jin, you must obtain a skill that can erase memories if you can't get Uncle's help. Miao Mu was confused and said that was not how he remembered it. Yu Jin yanks on Miao Mu's collar and starts scolding him for roaming around at Dungeon Break. Yu Jin shakes on Miao Mu as he says how lucky he was that a TV channel got him on camera or he would be long gone. Miao Mu gets dizzy from the shaking, but he still apologizes to Yu Jin. This is probably Yu Jin's method of changing the subject, but he is also worried a lot about Miao Mu. Still angry, Yu Jin tells Miao Mu to not run off on his own like that. What happened made Yu Jin worried that he might never see Miao Mu ever again. Miao Mu feels wretched for worrying his friend, and tears start to trickle down from his face, shocking Yu Jin. Yu Jin was so surprised and worried that he asked Miao Mu if he was hurt, and if he should get a healer for him. Miao Mu wipes his tears, feeling that Yu Jin's worrying put him at ease. Miao Mu is calm now and musters up the courage to say what he really wants. He asks Yu Jin if it would be okay to remain friends with him, even if he gets a useless skill after completing the grinding task of 10,000 knives. Miao Mu, we will never know unless you get to grinding those 20 knives left. Yu Jin has a blank face at first, but then Yu Jin gets furious, learning that this is actually what Miao Mu was worried about. He admonishes Miao Mu for getting cold feet when Yu Jin already knows that Miao Mu got an offer to work full-time at the armory. Yu Jin calms down from getting angry and holds onto Miao Mu's shoulders with both hands. Affected by Miao Mu's courage to speak up, he decides to admit that he is the one who should beg Miao Mu to stay since he really loves Miao Mu's cooking. Feeling shy, Yu Jin asks if Miao Mu can still come over and cook for him if Miao Mu's not busy. He promises to not be picky with the food and even pay Miao Mu for cooking. He even admits how it would be better if Miao Mu kept on living with him. It makes me curious how great Miao Mu's cooking is. Hearing this from Yu Jin made Miao Mu so happy. He tells Yu Jin to request anything, and he will make it for him. Miao Mu decides to go back to the armory and finish grinding the rest. He ties up his hair and sets up the grinding stone. He grinds knives at a regular pace. He remembered how he awakened and unlocked his first skill, called Grindstone, in a dark, small, messy room. He was hopeless at that point in his life. This is a flashback, people. When he got his subsidy of 1 million won, around $750, Miao Mu was told by the staff that it would be better for Miao Mu to look for other jobs, instead of being a hunter. Hearing this only affirms how awakening didn't change anything in his life. On that day, he left the KHA registration center looking desolate as he thought about how the money would go to paying off rent and loans. He doesn't have any high hopes despite his awakening. He walks away from the crowd surrounding the high-rank hunter while feeling depressed. He was mulling over how life had thrown him so many rocks when his left arm was suddenly grabbed out of nowhere. It was then that his dull life gained a new color. Miao Mu met Yu Jin. Miao Mu was uncertain and anxious, while also feeling grateful for getting help from Yu Jin. He compares how he is nothing compared to Yu Jin, Yu Yun, or Yerem. Despite grinding all those knives, he doesn't even hope to get a useful skill out of it. But when he heard such things from a young girl, he realized how wrong he had been for thinking and doing those things. He finally understands how Yu Jin never judged him for his rank or even forced him to do things he wasn't suitable for. Yu Jin has simply supported him and lets him do the things he was best at, and Yu Jin does all these by cheering him on. Miao Mu may have lost all hope, but Yu Jin kept believing in Miao Mu. Gurren Lagann vibes right here. Miao Mu finally understands that he doesn't need to feel down or insecure. Miao Mu continues to work on the knives, thinking that he would stop worrying because he already knows the path that he must take. He picks up another dull knife, and the system shows that he has already completed 9,997 of the required 10,000 knives. Miao Mu continues to mull over things as the counter increases, 9,998. Miao Mu has decided to do his best no matter how different his strength is from Yu Jin and Yerem. 9,999. Miao Mu is determined that he will pay Yu Jin back in his own way. 10,000. Miao Mu completed sharpening the last knife. Tears drip from his eyes as he sees the new skill he has unlocked. The system announces that Miao Mu has opened the SS rank skill called Master of the Golden Smithy. Finally, a loud shriek can be heard from the armory. The others ask what the problem is, and the female staff points to where the huge man of stone was. She claims that it must have been stolen the night before. The others only sigh, saying the man of stone has already found its rightful owner. I'm guessing Myung-woo can finally touch and work on that huge S-grade man of stone. In a different location, a badass-looking trident releases an aura, while all sparkly. Yerim is holding on to this trident, as she floats in the air with drones around her. She comments on how fancy the weapon is, since it is an S-grade weapon. She announces into the microphone she is wearing that. She is now starting the first field test for the Parmenides Frosted Trident, created by Myung-woo. Yerim chooses the lake as the target and infuses her ice power into the weapon. She blasts it into the lake, causing a big explosion of ice. Her attack crystallized the lake into ice, and she felt good for freezing the entire lake like a thorn bush. Suddenly the ice cracks, and Yerim's eyes widen, as she sees the whole thorny bush of ice grow taller. Yerim is amazed that her skills can improve the weapon. The perfect example of an OP character getting OP equipment. At a conference, Shimeon introduced the S-grade weapon that Myung-woo made as the 16th S-rank weapon in the country. He makes sure to tell everyone that this was created by a person and not something found in a dungeon. Lights flash and cameras keep recording as history is being made right then. An appraiser confirms in front of everyone that the weapon is indeed an S-rank, and the KHA certifies that Myung-woo is the craftsman. Oh, it is the same appraiser who tried to appraise Yoo-jin back then. The conference proceeds to the next part of the program, where reporters can ask questions. A reporter asks what the highest rank that Myung-woo can create is. Looking dashing in his red suit, Myung-woo smiles and answers that there's no absolute limit to what he can make, but admits that an SS-grade item would still require some practice. Myung-woo truly evolved this time. Everyone murmurs at this revelation, but Yoo-jin just smiles at how Myung-woo is now in the spotlight. Sung-hin, who was sitting beside Yoo-jin, was amazed by everything. As he looks around, he starts to worry, thinking that they also need to assign security for Myung-woo. Yoo-jin only laughs at this and tells Sung-min to relax, since Myung-woo can handle his own safety now. Sung-min looks closely and agrees that Myung-woo does look fitter now. Yoo-jin lets Sung-min know that aside from getting a new skill, Myung-woo's stats had increased up to C rank because of his hard work. Sung-min found it incredulous and said he had never heard about something like that happening before. Myung-woo didn't remain F rank like Yoo-jin did. His body probably really needs it if he has to create SS grade items. Yoo-jin just keeps on smiling, saying that Myung-woo is really one of a kind. We've got another flashback, people. Several hours ago, inside the Heian dorms, Yoo-jin was so shocked to find that Myung-woo forged a weapon as soon as he unlocked his skill. Myung-woo scratches his head while holding on to the said weapon and admits there are materials in his inventory that he thought would create synergy with the Man of Stone. Myung-woo licks his hand, and with a flash, he shows the materials to Yoo-jin. Yoo-jin gets so big-eyed for seeing numerous rare items floating in the air, and most of these items are things he had never seen before. Myung-woo proceeds to explain how his new inventory carries not only S-grade materials, but also SS-grade. With all those items, I think he does need security. Yoo-jin's eyes bulge out as Myung-woo explains that the inventory of materials came with a skill. Myung-woo tells Yoo-jin how he used the frostwood material with the Mana Stone to create the trident. The skill also comes with an extensive manual filled with detailed instructions on creating various items. Yoo-jin is so flabbergasted that many things came with the skill that Myung-woo unlocked. Comparing it to his L-rank skills, it feels like he was mistreated. He starts cursing the guys who run the system as he wallows in despair. Myung-woo asks Yoo-jin if he wants to tour his smithy, which piques Yoo-jin's interest. Myung-woo explains how the golden smithy is not just a name, as he uses this skill in front of Yoo-jin. A golden door of light appears, and the face of the door is filled with symbols and foreign characters. What the? Just imagine, the skill has a smithy, a manual, and materials. His skill is more of an L rank than an SS rank. Myung-woo smiles at Yoo-jin and reaches out a hand, saying he can invite others into the golden smithy. Yoo-jin holds on to Myung-woo's hand, while commenting on how this gives the extra security Myung-woo needs to keep himself from getting kidnapped. Yoo-jin thinks Myung-woo is like the protagonist of a movie or a novel as they go inside the smithy. Yoo-jin was at first blinded by the light. Still, he was awestruck by the high ceilings, simple grandeur, and details in every corner. That's a great hideout. Yoo-jin checks the burning fire of the smithy, wondering how it continuously burns without fuel. Myung-woo was about to answer when the fire suddenly flared up and got even more enormous than Yoo-jin. Yujin was so shocked that he thought it was a monster. He quickly pulls Myung-woo behind him as he gets away from the fire, still shaken by what happened. Myung-woo smiles, knowing that Yujin will remain protective of him. He tries to calm Yujin down, saying that he's now sturdier, so there's no need to worry. He then explains that what's before them is a fire elemental. The fire elemental greets his master and tells Yujin that he is the elemental called Ismur. Yujin realizes that elemental also exists, then thinks how the same goes for Dakebus. Myung-woo shares how Ismur helped him forge the weapon. The whole thing was set up by Ismur's previous master, to help the successor of the Golden Smithy learn the basics. It also has an elemental. Yujin, I think it's time you give up your MC position. Yujin looks back at Myung-woo and asks if a hunter had previously owned the smithy. Myung-woo is unsure, but he says he received a bouquet and a card. Yujin looks at the items in Myung-woo's hands and asks if Myung-woo can read the unknown symbol written on them. Myung-woo says he somehow can and does the translation for Yujin. The card bears a simple greeting from the previous master to the successor of the smithy with wishes of blessings of fire and molten metal. He also can read alien language now. Just how much do they want to buff Myung-woo? Yujin thinks about everything he'd known so far about dungeons. He thinks about how there were findings of ruins of civilization before. He wonders if the previous master of the Golden Smithy before Myung-woo came from another world. Based on the card, the smithy was purposely left for a progeny. Yujin ponders how the system ties up to this, but Myung-woo pulls Yujin from his thoughts by giving him the flowers he received. Myung-woo claims that he owes everything to Yujin. Hence, he wants Yujin to decide what Myung-woo should do now. Whatever Yujin chooses, whether it'll be freelancing or staying at the Haeyeon Guild, he'll do it. Wow, such loyalty. But it also makes sense. If Yujin didn't latch on to him, Myung-woo would probably be dead already. Yujin looks at the flower while deep inside, he's celebrating how everything went according to his plan. With Dr. White and Myung-woo by his side, he's now set for life. But despite this, Yujin feels that it is not right, so instead of saying where Myung-woo should go now, he tells Myung-woo that he doesn't have to do that. Myung-woo looks blankly at Yujin. Yujin avoids eye contact and starts scratching his head. He says that Myung-woo doesn't really have to follow him around, and that there is something that he wants to admit to Myung-woo. Our MC is having character development right now. Yujin tries to muster up all his courage, but he can still not look Myung-woo in the eyes. He finally admits how he never really knew Myung-woo before. He makes up a story of how he must have been so confused that day, because the truth is that they'd never met before that day. Myung-woo starts to say that he already knows. Still, Yujin cuts him off, saying that Myung-woo must be upset for getting dragged around by Yujin. Yujin tells Myung-woo to do as he pleases without worrying about Yujin. But at the same time, Yujin berates himself, for he hesitates to relinquish this golden ticket. Still, when he looks at Myung-woo, he is so glad that the guy can finally stand alone. Myung-woo finally got the growth he needed. Yujin recalls the time Yu-yoon left him, while thinking that letting go of Myung-woo is what he must do after lying all that time. Myung-woo looks at Yujin and remembers how Yujin said that Myung-woo's skill makes him more influential than the largest guilds in the country. Myung-woo makes up his mind, mumbling how he already knows what he wants to do. Myung-woo still gives the flowers to Yujin, saying the flowers might only burn if it stays in the smithy. Myung-woo smiles at Yujin and with resolve, he says that he will be doing the things that he wants to do this time. He will do just as Yujin told him, to do whatever he wants, without worrying about Yujin. And now we're back to the present, where they present the trident Myung-woo made. Myung-woo holds onto the Parmenes Frostwood trident as Yerim walks toward him. Shimyeon announces that Myung-woo bestows the weapon to Yerim Park of the Haeyeon Guild. Shimyeon explains that Myung-woo is giving his first S-grade creation to one of the hunters of Haeyeon Guild, because of the extensive support he received from them. In the audience, Yujin has a bad look as he remembers how he decided to relinquish his golden ticket. Our MC still needs some growing. He tries to look the bright side, thinking that with Myung-woo the spotlight will not be on him, and he'll get to relax. Yerim looks so happy on the stage as she raises the trident for everyone to see. Then Shimyeon announces that there will be remarks from the two. Yujin says he's proud and that Myung-woo will now be fine on his own. Sungin looks at Yujin at this and asks if Myung-woo will stop staying with Yujin now. Yujin says Myung-woo will be welcomed wherever he wishes to go. With skills like his, he will definitely be getting offers from everyone. Yujin says that Myung-woo has no reason to stay with him. While they are friends, they really haven't known each other for a long time. Seeing how Yujin was acting, Sunghyun was worried about how Yujin seemed unaware of his value. Sunghyun was about to tell him this, but Yujin was busy slurping his drink, and Yerim started talking on stage. Yujin can be an airhead sometimes. Yerim smiles and formally thanks Myung-woo for the perfect weapon she just received. Then, out of nowhere, she also thanks Yujin while she's on the stage. Hearing this made Yujin spill his drink right in his face and ask why they were talking about him. Yerim passes the mic to Myung-woo, and Myung-woo agrees with Yerim, saying that it is all thanks to Yujin. Myung-woo tells everyone that aside from the support he got from Hae and Guild, he also owes a lot to Yujin Han. Everyone in the venue starts murmuring, turning their head to look at Yujin. Yujin crouches and tries to hide from everyone. Sunghyun looks fondly at Yujin, as he thinks about how Yujin means a lot to everyone more than he really knows. Yujin is all red as he tries to hide. At this stage, Myung-woo thinks everyone in the world should know better before messing with Yujin. At the same time, Yerim whispers to Myung-woo for doing a good job. Oh, so they did do that for Yujin's protection. Everyone close to Yujin knows that if they were given a choice to leave or stay with him, they would undoubtedly choose to stay and fight for him. Because even without blood relations, they see Yujin as their family. After the conference, Yujin thinks about how the days were uneventful and how safe he is with the reinforced security. Myung-woo is always in his smithy, yet the guy never forgets to cook for Yujin. He stays true to his words, but there's one problem. Peace is so out of it that the magic beast doesn't even want to exercise. Yujin carries Peace in his arms and thinks that Peace must still be having the after effects of getting kidnapped before. Yujin brings Peace out, saying they'll be playing fetch. If Yujin didn't have the skills he has, he would also feel traumatized by what happened. A blonde woman standing by the door greets Yujin and says she'll escort them if they are going to the training room. Yujin looks at the woman and identifies her as Hunter Soyeon Kang from the Sejong Guild. She is a 19-year-old A-ranker hunter personally recruited by Hyunjae from the United Kingdom. And based on what Yujin remembers of his past life, Soyeon is his future sister-in-law. Soyeon looks fondly at Peace, then gets on with her job. She leads Yujin and Peace to the elevator. At the same time, Yujin imagines how Soyeon will lead his brother to the altar in the future. Soyeon says she was worried when she heard Yujin's abduction and was really happy when Yujin was saved. She believes that Yujin is her last hope. Yujin was confused by this. Soyeon motions to keep it a secret, revealing that she has an SS rank mounting skill called Dragon Rider. And we have another character with an SS rank skill. Just how OP is her skill? Yujin was amazed by this and thought dragons were the most difficult monsters to tame. Riding one is next to impossible, but if Soyeon gets a dragon for a mount, she'll be amazing in dungeon raids. But I think Yujin can ride a dragon, even without that skill. Though, not as expertly as Soyeon would. Soyeon reveals her frustration, since she can't use the skill now. Hence she's relying on Yujin's skill to tame a dragon for her. She also reveals how Sejong Guild sometimes finds dragon nests in the dungeons they look over. If they get to hatch one, she'll finally get a dragon for herself. Soyeon dreamily imagines how wonderful it'll be once she has her own baby dragon and plans to raise it like her own child. Yujin smiles at this, thinking his younger brother's girlfriend is so lovely. Yujin looks at her, completely smitten, but Peace still feels bored even though he is in Yujin's arms. As they get out of the elevator, Soyeon says she'll make sure to keep Yujin safe since he has to be her breeding partner. This statement shocks Yujin that he plops down onto the elevator floor. Feeling weak, Yujin stammers as he asks if she really has to phrase it that way. Good thing our Peace didn't fall to the ground. Soyeon looks back at Yujin, saying that that's how everyone is phrasing it. She explains that it became a catchphrase after the Breaker Guild's guildmaster mentioned it in a TV show. Yujin curses Hyuna for causing this problem. They got into the training room, but Peace still felt down. Yujin tries to motivate Peace, but to no avail. Dissatisfied, Peace grumbles and makes a fuss by clinging to Yujin's clothes with his claws. Soyeon looks at Peace, thinking that the magic beast must have been really traumatized by the kidnapping. Yujin decides to stand up and move his body around to somehow make Peace let go, and consider doing some exercise that will make him feel better. Soyeon looks at the two and simply thinks they are somehow enjoying themselves. That is one way of exercise. Yujin sadly comments how nice it would be if they could go out and enjoy some time outside, but this isn't possible, since Peace is a magic beast and not exactly a pet. Soyoung hears this and gets an idea. She suggests taking Yoojin to a perfect spot to let them get some fresh air. Yoojin was shocked that such a place existed. Then Soyoung said that the ideal site was in their guild's rooftop garden. She takes out her phone and calls her guild to get permission. Yoojin is surprised at this and tries to stop Soyoung, but she's already contacted her guild. In Sejong Guild, a man smiles as he says he will send a car to pick them up. The blonde man is spending his leisure time looking at his humongous aquarium. He says he is welcome anytime in their guild. He continues to speak on the phone, saying they must get ready to welcome him. Of course, the guy is Hyunjae, and he is referring to our MC. A vast garden with fantastic architecture and multiple pathways can be seen afar. The garden is so huge and filled with many trees that it is hard to believe that you can still call such a place a garden. Yoojin looks at the place with amazement, commenting how he never thought there would be a rooftop garden in Sejong Guild. Peace is in Yoojin's arms and was busy looking around, since the place is entirely new for a magic beast like him. Soyeon assures Yoojin that he'll get some privacy, since they accept restricted access to the garden. Our MC is getting special treatment. Peace finally jumps off Yoojin's arms and starts walking a bit. Yoojin is glad that Peace is finally feeling brighter, and he assures Peace that he is safe there, since even the lady with them is really nice. Soyeon hears this and gets close to Yoojin. To reassure Peace that she's a friend, she even kisses Yoojin on the cheek, making the guy blush. New route. Wait, isn't she supposed to be Yoon's girlfriend in the future? Yoojin was so shocked that his future sister-in-law kissed him on the cheek, but Soyeon was more focused on reassuring Peace that she didn't realize Yoojin's panic. Yoojin thinks it over and guesses it's not a big deal, but he's still worried that it might make a mess in the future. Yoojin should stop overthinking, since it seems that Soyeon's really more interested in Peace. Peace continues to look around and softly growls as he starts to wander and explore. Soyeon was happy that Peace understood her. Out of nowhere, Peace suddenly leaps and dashes away, creating mayhem in the process. Soyeon is so delighted that Peace is finally feeling better. At the same time, Yoojin can only cry as he apologizes for the destruction. Soyeon smiles widely and assures Yoojin that it's okay. She just hopes that Peace will be the playmate for her future dragon. Yoojin got curious and asked Soyeon what kind of dragon they were trying to hatch. Soyeon happily answers that it is a Tier 3 flying dragon. She is proud that she'll be having a thorn-winged dark dragon. Yoojin thinks about how this type is the most durable among flying-type dragons. Aside from its dark, sturdy scales, it is also filled with thorns in its wings and tail. From just imagining the dragon, Soyeon is already blushing with glee, claiming that the dragon is such an adorable creature. Yoojin is shocked by Soyeon's description, but the girl continues to gush at how its tail is poisoned with big expectant eyes. Hearing this just confirmed that Soyeon has an odd taste. If she has a strange taste, does that make Yoonyeon also bizarre? Soyeon smiles and invites Yoojin to visit the rooftop garden often, so they can have a change of pace. Yoojin smiles and agrees as he thinks it has been so long, since he genuinely enjoyed a simple walk like the one he is having right now. And this applies even before he turned back time. Thinking that he can't go outside, visiting the Sejong Guild's rooftop garden might be the perfect place for him to wind down. Peace returns to them with some flowers in his mouth and purrs. Yoojin pets Peace, as he thanks the magic beast for the flowers. Yoojin is a bit worried that if he frequents the Sejong Guild, he might meet Hyunjae, but he rationalizes that it is unlikely that the guild master would just show up. Sadly, Yoojin's weakling's hunch notifies him of the approaching S-ranker. Those S-rankers won't leave you alone. Soyeon looked behind them and was shocked to see their guild master. Yoojin's eyes sadly leer as he hears Kim Jae say that it is only natural for him to come out and greet their valuable guest. Wearing casual clothes, Hyunjae smiles at them, completely different from how Yoojin views the guild master of the top guild of their country. With Hyunjae's influence beyond the country, he was known to be number 1 even in hunter rankings until he disappeared once he left Korea. That man, viewed as the strongest hunter in the world, is now sitting in front of Yoojin, and there are tea and layers of confection between the two of them. Is this the reason why the title of the chapter is Garden Date? Soyeon has left the two men, which simply made Yoojin speechless. He had never thought there would be a day that Hyunjae-sung, the strongest hunter, would pour tea for someone like him. Hyunjae reminds Yoojin to be careful in sipping since the tea is hot. Yoojin heeds the advice as he thinks how Hyunjae looks so natural at doing this. It makes Yoojin just wonder if he's still in the right genre. Why do the flowery panels appear when there are guys, but when he receives a kiss from Soyeon? It only has a cute background. Just why? Hyunjae lifts a hand and says he has a tree for Yoojin's horn-flame lion. A bone appears in Hyunjae's hand. He says that it is a dragon's wing bone. He puts the bone in front of Peace, making him sniff. Peace sadly can't contain his excitement and start purring, licking, and playing with the bone. Finding Peace so happy made Yoojin smile, making him think that Hyunjae was nice. Yoojin takes a bite of Madeline and is struck by its deliciousness. He is sure that Myung-woo is a better cook, but the sweets before him are just as tasty. What? Is Hyunjae using the method called a way to a man's heart is through his stomach? Yoojin happily eats, while Hyunjae smiles and says he's glad that Yoojin is now better after what happened. Yoojin smiles back and conveys his appreciation for Hyunjae, taking the time to personally greet him. Hyunjae continues to smile as he says that it is the least he could do for his future breeding partner. Yoojin ignores the jab and simply curses Hyuna deep in his heart for making such a trend. Hearing it from Hyunjae makes it sound weirder. I can't imagine Yoon saying those exact words. The vibe of their conversation suddenly changes as Hyunjae says he means what he said. Yoojin's status as a magic beast tamer, his custody of S-ranker Yerim Park, and the recent announcement of the only blacksmith prove Yoojin is one of a kind. Hyunjae says every other guild, aside from NKC, wishes to get closer or at least speak to Yoojin. If Yoojin wishes it, everyone will do their best to make it happen for Yoojin. Hyunjae invites Yoojin to try it out, but Yoojin says no. With what Hyunjae showed, Yoojin changes his perception of Hyunjae, thinking that the guy is actually despicable. Yep, he's bad news. It's no doubt he is jerkwad hashtag one from Huma's phone. Yoojin says he should still be careful, since he's only an F-ranker. Hyunjae says it is an easy fix with a top-tier magic beast by Yoojin's side. He then reveals that the guilds are discussing assigning a second top-tier monster for Yoojin's security. Yoojin was shocked to hear this, and Hyunjae was surprised that Yoon hasn't told this to Yoojin yet. Hyunjae continues to explain how MKC will cover the cost because of the recent incident. Hyunjae tries to poke at Yoojin and Yoon's relationship, saying how Yoon is too overprotective, to the point he keeps such information from his brother. But Hyunjae pauses and shows a worried expression, saying he might sound like Hyuna right now. This guy is a better actor than Yoojin. Yoojin looks down and says it's fine as he thinks about how his brother does keep information from him and how Yoon tends to give him a generic answer. It makes Yoojin wonder, if he did get his skill before rewinding the time, would he be living out his days confined in the guild, ignorant of the things around him? Hyunjae reminds Yoojin that he is influential enough to build his own guild, or Yoojin can even choose to create an army of magic beasts. Yoojin is astounded by Hyunjae's suggestions and says he can't be allowed to own many of them. Still, Hyunjae assures Yoojin that that wouldn't last, since the law only exists if the country and society choose to uphold it. Hyunjae makes a good point. Hyunjae explains that many things will change once the difficulty and number of dungeons increase. He predicts that everyone will be determined to survive by whatever means necessary 5 years from now. With the existence of mounts and tameable monsters, Yoojin will be someone important, more than he is right now. With Yoojin's abilities, Hyunjae says it's no wonder Yoon is protecting him. He advises Yoojin to have a proper conversation with his brother about this. Yoojin looks at Hyunjae as he drinks his tea, thinking that the guy before him is testing him and not praising him. You have every right to be suspicious about him, Yoojin. But wouldn't it be easier if the MC also got this guy under his influence? Back in Haeyeon Guild, Yoon asks Yerim what she is saying about his older brother. Yerim reveals her doubts. She explains how she used White Corpse to read the memories of the men from the Bricks Guild. She found the memory where Yoojin didn't immediately get knocked out and how his kidnappers thought that Yoojin might have debuff-canceling equipment on him. Yerim says that she knows that the guild never issued that kind of item to Yoojin, and finally says that Yoon's brother is most probably hiding something. It is natural to be suspicious, but suppose we based it on Yoon's personality. In that case, Lil Bro will simply let it go as long as Big Bro's secrets can help protect himself. Yoojin was informed that he will at least have an A-ranker for a bodyguard when he goes back to Haeyeon Guild. And now he is in the car with Peace feeling sullen that it's actually Hyunjae who will escort him. Yoojin wonders if the seasoned guildmaster has nothing else better to do, and he even received a bouquet from the guy. Yoojin looks at the man in question and announces that Hyunjae won't be able to persuade him, no matter what he does. Sadly, Hyunjae reaches out for Yoojin. Yoojin was shocked, but Hyunjae simply buckled the seatbelt for Yoojin. Seriously, isn't this something you see in rom-com dramas? First the garden date, then feeding peace, giving a bouquet, then sending Yu-jin back himself. Are we supposed to look forward to a goodbye kiss next? I'm starting to question the genre of this manhwa. Yu-jin has a worried look, while Peace glares at Hyunjae. Hyunjae smiles at Yu-jin and says he's only trying to make up for failing to assist Yu-jin back when he got kidnapped. Yu-jin can only laugh. Delvey still got scared for a bit there. Peace continues to glare at Hyunjae and starts growling softly at the man. Good job, Peace. Make sure to protect Yu-jin. Hyunjae says he got to spend time with Yu-jin because of what happened with MKC. Aside from the incident, it showed how low MKC guilt has become, letting everyone know it will be gone soon enough. Yu-jin was lost in his thoughts, thinking about how MKC had fallen sooner than before. Thinking about going back in time, Yu-jin thinks about how little information he has about Hyunjae. There is no factual information about him aside from being the guild master of Season, and the rest are mostly rumors. The guy is a complete enigma. Yu-jin ponders if he should use his skill to take a peek at Hyunjae. It would be a good opportunity, since he thinks the guild master wouldn't mind. Yu-jin decides to go with it and pretends to look out the window on Hyunjae's side. He tells himself that it will only be a peek and nothing extensive. Yu-jin is thinking of activating the skill Promising Sprout. He tells himself he won't even turn his head, which will be a quick look. But before Yu-jin even changes the direction of his eyes, Hyunjae's hand is already on Yu-jin's neck. This shocks Yu-jin so much that he drops the bouquet to the floor. Damn, that's cold. Yu-jin's face is dark, thinking he is about to die, as he holds onto Peace. The system notifies him that it detected an overwhelming presence and activated fear resistance. Yu-jin's face is pale as he thinks how Hyunjae just has to squeeze, and he will soon meet his end. Yu-jin cursed, thinking how Hyunjae even noticed it, when he hadn't even used the skill yet. Peace realized something was wrong, and he started to get angry and growled at Hyunjae. Yu-jin looks at Hyunjae and says he's supposed to be his bodyguard, but now he seems to be following MKC's steps. Hyunjae smiles at this and finally lets go of Yu-jin's neck. Hyunjae pats Yu-jin in the back, claiming that he doesn't know what Yu-jin is saying, since nothing really happened between them. Yu-jin was speechless, but Peace continued to growl at Hyunjae, ready to attack at any moment. Yu-jin can only curse Hyunjae in his head for what almost happened. In front of Haeyeon Guild, Shimyeong and Sunghan are waiting for their arrival. Hyunjae gets out of the car and greets them. Hyunjae gets around the car and opens the door for Yu-jin. Yu-jin immediately dashes out of the vehicle with Peace in one arm. He heads straight behind Sunghan. Hyunjae smiled at this, commenting on how quick he was. Hyunjae takes the bouquet that Yu-jin dropped on the floor and says that Yu-jin forgot. Shimyeong steps toward Hyunjae and asks why the man was there, saying he can't just show up without prior notice. Hyunjae simply smiles, saying that his staff must have already told them how Yu-jin will be escorted back with at least an A ranker. Shimyeong was vexed at Hyunjae's answer. Shimyeong remains formal, but reminds Hyunjae that hunter guilds are similar to armies. Having other S-rankers visit another guild can create conflicts. Yu-jin was shocked to hear this and wondered why Hyunjae gave him a ride if it started problems. Yu-jin sadly gasps as he realizes it is exactly Hyunjae's plan to irritate the Haeyeon Guild. It is no wonder why many people wouldn't like this guy. Hyunjae continues to smile and takes a flower from the bouquet. He says that Shimyeong shouldn't be stiff. He reassures them Yu-jin's safety as he puts the flower in Shimyeong's suit. Shimyeong was so irked by Hyunjae's words and actions that he could only tremble in irritation. Hyunjae gives the bouquet to Yu-jin and says he has something else for him besides the flowers. He hands Yu-jin a small accessory box. Yu-jin opens it, and within it is a pair of red studs. Hyunjae claims it is only a small token of his appreciation. He explains how the studs have mana-boosting buff and B-grade shield skill. Hyunjae makes an excuse that it is also his way of thanking Yu-jin for supporting Soyeon in the future. At least it's not a kiss. Yu-jin was surprised to receive such a precious item, thinking it was a rare find with its effects. Hyunjae comments that he noticed Yu-jin isn't wearing studs and figured that Yu-jin must have lost them when he was abducted. Yu-jin's face pales at this, wondering when Hyunjae even had time to notice those kinds of things. Hyunjae would make one attentive boyfriend, but not for Yu-jin. Yu-jin starts saying that he's unsure if he can accept those, but Hyunjae assures him that those are the best gifts. Hyunjae smiles warmly at Yu-jin, hoping this is the start of their long and lovely relationship. Sure, as long as you don't try killing him again. Inside the Haeyeon dormitory, Yu-jin is trying out the red studs he got from Hyunjae. Yu-jin calls for Peace and tells him to do a rocket launch. Upon hearing this, Peace happily dashes and quickly leaps toward Yu-jin. But before Peace even reaches Yu-jin, he collides with the shield with a heavy sound. Peace falls to Yu-jin's arms, confused about what happened. He was glad to know that the shield's skill did work. Poor Peace. Now that Yu-jin is holding Peace, he sniffs at the magic beast and realizes that Peace is smelly. He immediately brings the horned flame lion to the bathroom and gives his much-needed bath. Peace looks forlorn, but he stays put for Yu-jin. He was glad that the trip made Peace happy, and Yu-jin even received a gift from Hyunjae. Yu-jin thinks it was a good trip overall, but seeing Shimyang throw a fit makes him rethink another visit. Here's a short flashback. Shimyang mentioned how the entire block might end in flames if Yu-yun saw Hyunjae. Yu-jin was skeptical, but Shimyang said that Yu-yun was once arrested for visiting another guild before. Yu-jin was shocked, since he didn't know that something like this had happened. You're pretty much unaware of many things, even before you turn back time. Back to the present. Yu-jin wonders what other problems his brother has caused. Thinking about his quest to influence 50S rankers, he'll have massive trouble if they are like his brother. If it is possible, he wants to beat up those who are running the system. Yu-jin was so lost in thought that he didn't realize that Peace had gotten out of the bath. Peace flutters, spreading water all over, and leaps away from Yu-jin. Yu-jin tries to stop Peace and snatches him, saying he's not yet done. Peace did last longer than most cats would. Yu-jin suddenly stops, realizing he is holding a doll instead of Peace. Yu-jin looks at Peace, who is dripping wet on the floor, and asks if Peace learned a cloning skill or something. Suddenly, a voice says that the doll is actually his gift. The voice belongs to Yoon, and he greets his boss. Still holding on to the doll, Yu-jin asks if Yoon got the doll from Japan. Yoon says he did and even shows a bigger horned flame lion plushie to Yu-jin. Yoon says the country has a lot of merch of this kind, but it is not meant to be Peace. Yoon shows off the other merch he got from Japan, like the headband, backpack, and different sizes of dolls. Yoon shares how the show with Peace went viral worldwide, as Yoon puts the headband on Yu-jin's head. Yu-jin wipes Peace, saying he wasn't aware of the current craze. Wow, there's a lot of merch. Japan got ahead of Yu-jin in producing Peace-related merch. Getting to business, Yu-jin asks how was the task he gave Yoon. Yoon gives the tablet to Yu-jin to check his work. Yoon looks at the piece closely, while Yu-jin checks the tablet that now has a horned flame lion sticker on the back. Yu-jin was glad that Yoon did his work collecting data. Still, he notices how the information about the dungeon interior was left blank. Yoon explains that he can't enter dungeons. He doesn't know why, but he somehow bounces back outside whenever he tries to. Yu-jin wonders if it is because Yoon has similar abilities to the dungeons. So how does Yoon level up? Does he only rely on defeating monsters from dungeon breaks? This gives Yu-jin an idea, and he puts the tablet down. Yoon is trying to cheer Peace using a plushie, but he's not having much success. Yu-jin spreads his arms out and calls Yoon. Yoon looks back, and he is sadly hugged by Yu-jin. Yoon is so shocked, but Yu-jin doesn't let him go, saying it's him showing affection. Peace ignores the two and starts taking an interest in the plushie instead. Yoon tries to pull away from his boss, but Yu-jin keeps clinging. Yoon was about to mention who he would rather hug, but he didn't finish his sentence. Yu-jin tells Yoon to teleport with him in his arms. That seems like a good idea. Yoon is confused, but Yu-jin uses the boss card and says he won't let go of Yoon until he teleports. Left with no choice, Yoon says he'll try, but it will only be for a short while. They suddenly flash, leaving Peace and Yu-jin's new headband behind. Yoon is holding Yu-jin in his arms, and they are above the cityscape. Yu-jin is amazed, thinking that teleporting is similar to entering and leaving dungeon gates. Yoon continues to teleport short distances, and Yu-jin continues to observe how similar it is to dungeons. Yoon teleports some more, and they almost crash into a car. Yu-jin apologizes, and they immediately teleport elsewhere. Yu-jin looks at the system as they teleport, and the stats window changes its appearance. Oh, so that is what he's aiming for. Yu-jin wonders if he can communicate with the system while they teleport. Yu-jin tells Yoon to keep teleporting some more, but Yoon seems to have other ideas. He grabs onto Yu-jin's pants. Yoon starts to sweat and says that holding onto Yu-jin that way makes him want to throw him down. Yoon throws Yu-jin like a pro wrestler, and Yoon immediately floats away and apologizes to Yu-jin. Still lying on the floor, Yujin remembers that the Dakebis have a terrible habit of wrestling the people based on folklore. Yoon was worried that he hurt Yujin, remembering that his boss is a fragile F-ranker. "You're learning well, Yoon." Yujin rubs his sore back, thankful that he has a shield skill. He just hoped the system sent him a message from all those teleporting. Yujin opens his status window and finds a message saying that the skill my kid is the best is in effect with peace. Under it is a tip from the system, and at the same time, there is a hidden message telling Yujin to go to the dungeon. That seems like a high command from the system. Yujin looks at the message closely and wonders if the system has gone through hoops just to converse with Yujin. Yujin wonders if they can't send a direct message like before, since he is outside the dungeon. He recalls that the system seems unaware of his location, unless he is inside a dungeon. Yujin concludes that the system has its limitations. Yoon comes close to Yujin and is still worried about his boss. He asks if he should get a potion, but Yujin pats Yoon on the head, reassuring Yoon that he is okay. Yujin is actually glad that he finally got a message from the system, and Yoon has been a great help in achieving that. Yujin decides that he needs to go inside a dungeon. Still rubbing his back, he tells Yoon he can go now, and Yujin will call if he needs him. Yujin doesn't forget to compliment Yoon and tells him he loves him. Our MC really doesn't miss a chance. This makes Yoon pause, and he sadly recalls Grandma Yoon, who previously owned the watermill. Yoon starts to feel some affection for his boss, and offers to teleport Yujin back to his place. Yujin thanks Yoon, as he wonders if his keyword would affected him. Back in his place, Yujin looks at the text confirmation for winning the bid for an F-rank dungeon. He checks the location and sees that it is actually close by. He decides to wear all black clothes with a hat and sunglasses. He wonders if no one will recognize him, but he knows he will be fine, since he still has Inky's stealth skill. No one might identify you, but you still look suspicious. He wears a mask to finish the look and thinks he'll only have a quick chat with the system and immediately get out. Yujin looks forward to getting the much-needed explanation from the jerks running the system. I guess we will finally meet them at the next one.